Bill O'Reilly was ranting last night about poor media coverage over the missing Malaysian plane. Now, I actually agree with him about that. I think that CNN did a horrific job speculating if a wormhole was involved or if God was involved, and they consulted a psychic on HLN, which is a channel owned by CNN. Just terrible, terrible stuff. 24-hour coverage. It was grotesque. It was sensationalism porn. There were no updates, and they would put breaking news. I mean, just crazy stuff. Now, of course, it's ironic coming from Bill O'Reilly and coming from Fox News, because Fox News, they're the kings of misinformation. You know, CNN might have a sensationalism bias and a false equivalence bias, but they're still better than Fox News, which is just a Republican Party bias, which means that 99.9% of the things said on air are just total bullshit. So Bill O'Reilly is the worst person to really criticize here. But listen to what he says, and he sets himself up for what is, in all seriousness, the world's easiest rebuttal.
It is long past time for we the people to wise up. On some very important matters, we're simply not being told the truth by the national press. You know that. In many cases, we are being actively misled and exploited in the process. The coverage of the Malaysian jetliner was embarrassing, irresponsible, and dishonest. Anyone who will not admit that is dishonest as well. You simply cannot, as a legitimate journalist, traffic in fiction when more than 200 people's lives are in peril. Think about it. What if your husband, wife, son, or daughter were on that plane and people on national television were telling you it landed someplace?
What if your husband, wife, son, or daughter were in Iraq and people on national television were telling you they did 9/11 and had weapons of mass destruction? Oh, you see what I did there? Ironic, isn't it, Bill? How can you, of all people, go out there and say, when more than 200 people's lives are in danger, you can't traffic in fiction? Really? But when 100,000 lives are in danger, you can?
Even though the cut-and-run club, led by Barack Obama and Congressman John Murtha, continues to pound the drum of defeat in Iraq, things may be improving in that god-awful place. According to analysis by the Associated Press, the surge is working.
How's that for fiction? The surge is working. The cut-and-run club, he's making fun of the people who wanted to get out of Iraq. So let me get this straight. You are in favor, Bill O'Reilly, of invading a country that didn't attack us, and then when we find out that, hey, they didn't even have weapons of mass destruction, which was the second, move of the goalposts and the excuse to go in there, you still were cool with it. And then when they moved the goalpost again to, well, he's just a bad guy, when they didn't find weapons of mass destruction, yeah, he's a bad guy, so we got to do it. You still defended it. Every single step of the way, you were dealing with falsehoods. It was a fiction, just like you were railing against the fictions of people speculating about a missing airplane. So you have a problem with fictions involving missing airplanes, but you're totally cool with fictions involving war? Involving sending young, brave American men and women to go die and to go fight for their country. You were one of the biggest cheerleaders for the Iraq War. Don't talk to me about journalism and about reporting, okay? Because you're one of the biggest jokes in the country in that respect.